Well, I sure wonder how long this fencing is gonna hold up and if it's gonna be worth it. Wow, I can't believe this has held up for over 30 years, until the year 2051.
Holy cow.
Too bad it's not big enough for me to fit my flying car in it. It really has held up. Any regrets? I just wish I would have done it sooner. We've had zero issues with it whatsoever, outside of when you hit it with your tractor.
Yeah, about that.
So was it worth the cost? Most definitely. The wood fencing would have needed to have been replaced once, if not twice already. Today, we'll explore whether it's cost effective to install a white vinyl fence over a wood fence, and compare if it was worth it for the long term. I guess it is, considering my future self thinks so. Well, let's start with the cost. If you look at a typical wood fence, which includes pressure-treated lumber, and starting at one section of it, you're gonna need at least one 4x4x8 foot piece, which will cost you today, September 2023, $15.38. You'll also need two crossbeams to go horizontal to keep your fence pickets up on the top and on the bottom, which will be 2x4x8s, and those will run you $6.28 a piece. And finally, you're gonna need your 6-inch wood pickets, which will actually make up your wood fencing. You'll need about 16 of them for a standard fencing segment, and that'll give you a total of $75.66 for everything you need for one segment of fencing for wood. So now let's compare that to the cost of this white vinyl fence. To start off with, you're gonna need one of these white vinyl posts. They run about $63.17 each. And next you're gonna need your 8-foot fencing segment. This is gonna include your top rail, your bottom rail, and all of your in-between pieces that go vertical. And that's gonna run you $118. So that's a total of $181.17 for each segment. Now I'm sure you're gonna be asking, Scott, that's more than double the cost of the wood fence for the white vinyl fence, which is gonna lead us into our second point, and that is longevity. Now your typical wood fence, which if properly maintained, which let's be honest, not many people actually do, will last you about 15 years before you're gonna have to replace it all over again, which you wouldn't think isn't that bad, to be honest. But the white vinyl fence will last 20 to 30 years, if not longer, if properly maintained, which isn't a whole lot of actual maintenance. So that's more than double the length of the wood fence. My final point is maintenance. The wood fence is going to need a bunch of maintenance. You may have to do things like reseal it, replace cracked or broken wood picket fence pieces, and it could be even worse if you live in a super wet or even a super dry climate. Whereas with the white vinyl fence, on the other hand, you just simply won't need any of that. Really, the only maintenance you should do is spray it off just to keep it clean, but that's not going to affect the longevity of the fencing. And the final point I'll add to this that has really no complete monetary value that you can easily calculate is the cost of installation. If you're going to have someone do this for you, I have no idea how much each one of these will cost to put in. I don't know because I've done them myself. But if you look at the cost of labor in general with the wood fence that you'd have to spend once for installing it and a second time for installing it versus doing it once with the white vinyl fencing, I can almost guarantee you that that would make up for all of the cost associated with the difference between the wood and the white vinyl fencing. To answer my question in 30 years from now, yes, the white vinyl fence is more expensive to install, but it is well worth it in the long run. It will pay for itself in the long run if you take into account all the factors, but it looks really nice, provides a lot of privacy, and is super easy to install and doesn't require a whole lot of tools. Speaking of which, if you haven't seen my video on how to install white vinyl fence, make sure to check it out below or in the pinned comment. Thank you guys for watching. We truly appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon.